Corsicana, Texas. We are back. Dallas, Fort Worth, what's up? Houston, what's up? How you guys are doing this morning? Listen, welcome back to the Burning Cold Podcast. I am your show host. I am the point guard. I go by the name of Mr. Know It All. Listen, this is the show to where we say what needs to be said, and we talk about different subjects. We talk about current events, hot trending topics, and we also talk about stimulating conversations as well. So bear with us and let us be able to entertain you guys for tonight's show. I'm glad you guys joined us. But listen, I got to be able to bring the crew in. We're gonna go by the first queen of the Burning Coals podcast. She goes by the name of Educated Queen. Give it up for Educated Queen.
Hey.
And then we got the shooting guard. This guy's Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Ray Allen, all of them wrapped up in one. Give it up for gentleman Jamal. And then, last but not least, the genius of the show, the brains behind everything. We go by the center of attention. B-Dub, Bougie Weirdo. Welcome to the show, everybody.
B-Dub.
Yes, indeed. So listen, you guys, the stream to call in on the show is right up at the top of the comments section. If you want to comment on the show, you can definitely comment on the show as well. You can also go to the stream and call in, and once you get that call in notification, call in on Facebook and YouTube. We'll definitely bring you into the show. You can say hello, how you doing, what's up. You can do all that stuff, but we got to keep it civil. We cannot have no bad conversations here, whatnot. So we're gonna keep it civil. We're gonna be disrespectful. All right. So, nevertheless, how's everybody doing on this Tuesday night? How's everybody doing?
Blessed.
I feel good. Yeah.
Hey. Jim and Jamal, how are you, my guy?
I feel good.
Right.
That part, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this.
Man, we are ready to definitely do it. And you know what? I'm feeling extremely wonderful this afternoon. Well, tonight, man, I had a good lunch. I had a good dinner. I'm trying to eat healthy, and I got a workout in today because it was something I was trying to. I've been backing off. I'm one of those kind of guys with working out. Like, I've had like my first day of working out about 100 times already. So I just keep on repeating. But, today is my first actual day from working out. So, but you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day. So, we're going to take it in slow motion to get in there. So, it is what it is. But other than that, man, everything's going good over here. So, but tonight, you guys, listen, you're going to see the topic. Boom. The infamous use of the N-word. And y'all know what we're talking about. We ain't talking about never either. So, so you guys are gonna definitely enjoy what we got going on tonight. And before we get started with this conversation, I got to show you guys something. All right. Now, my friends over at Twisted Tea. Look at there. My friend at Twisted Tea sent me something saying, "Hey, look, you know what, you guys, you gonna do the show tonight? Look, go ahead and put this out there or whatever, man. And because of the subject you guys gonna be touching, somebody get out of line or get out of pocket to whoever people that's watching the show, get their Twisted Tea. So you don't want nobody to be disrespectful towards you, use that N-word towards you, whatever. So you know what happens when you get one of these. This is the official drink for every hood that's in America, the Twisted Tea. You gotta get you some. Okay, so you see it at the bottom, infamous use of the N-word. All right. So let me ask you guys this, okay? All right. When you let me rephrase this way. How do you guys feel about the use of the N-word? We're talking about nigger or nigga when it comes to us using it in our community versus another race calling or using that word towards us. How do you guys feel about that? Because I know for a fact this conversation is going to definitely get heated with that alone. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to start this thing off right. Just Gentleman Jamal in the house. No. So,
Hey.
so I'm gonna say this because I think because of the hip hop community, a lot of other races get that thing twisted. And I'm not saying you should advocate the use of it or not, to each his own. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, let your own conscience be your guide. But I would say this quite simply. I call my old lady baby, boo, sugar, sexy, whatever, right? That don't mean you can say it. Just because I say it don't mean you can say it. This whole notion of because you say it, we should be allowed to say it is bull, right? Again, I call my old lady whatever I want to call her because that's mine, right? That's the relationship we have, right? So another race saying I'm gonna step in because y'all use it, simply because y'all use it, you don't have what? That relationship. There's no green light to use that word, right? And if you think about it, whether you think it's right to use it or not, it just hits different when somebody uses that word. It just hit different. And I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't. There's a sect that's going to say nobody should use it. Got you. And some people say it's a term of endearment, whatever it is. But the fact that, or the argument that because you use it or y'all use it, that I can use it, is bullshit. Because again, I call my old lady boot thing, whatever, baby. And if you think you can run up and say it, then all this gonna be gone. With that, I'm gonna land.
So, hey, G-Man. So I got a question though. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. So, what if your lady was, let's say, influencer, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers, and she referred to herself as all of those things you just mentioned on a regular basis, and say some of her followers are just reciprocating. And I asked that question because you know where I'm going with this, with the music.
Wait a minute.
Because listen now, I feel what you're saying, because it do sound different. For whatever reason, I don't know why. It just rolls differently off the tongues of non-melanated people somehow, some way.
Right.
I'm gonna go deeper.
Go ahead. If you putting it in the music, and we know the demographic, white 16 to 28 is the largest purchaser of music, of hip hop music.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
If I'm paying for it, why can't I sing along with the song at least?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell us why. Tell us why then. Go ahead.
Number one, if that was any other community, we wouldn't have this show. We'll close the show right now. It's only our culture to that derogatory term is up for some kind of racial debate or auction. You would never hear anybody refer to a Jewish person, a Hispanic or Asian or whatever in their terms that degrade them. Number one. Number two, ladies, y'all back me up on this. They get together, they call each other, you a bad, whatever, right? You better not go up and say it. You're gonna get right. It's a difference. You don't have that relationship with them. See a group of women in there, they're like, be you this, be bad, you turn up, they say it in their little circles, they smack each other, all kind of stuff. But they have their relationship, they cool with each other, like, excuse me. Women say that. That don't mean, oh, I heard them say it. Let me go over here and call her that. I know what's finna happen. This is a free country. You can say what you want, but there's consequences to pay. Now, if you go to a concert, and most of the concerts, if you of course they're gonna say it. You better not say it around certain people. You got to know where you at. Number one rule in the hood: know where you at. Or any setting, corporate America, anywhere. You better know where you at, because you can say it around your people. Cool. Because if you look at it, a lot of different races, they use it amongst each other when they want to.
But right? doesn't that make us hypocritical though?
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
That's life. That's life. Life is hypocritical, right? But say that around the wrong person. Chin check time. You can go around and say it around your buddies or somebody that's cool with it, but don't mean you can got a green light to just say, well, you know what, y'all use it, so I can say it too. You're free to say what you want, but you have to deal with some consequences.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, okay? And I agree with both of you guys, and B-Dub, I know exactly where you're coming from with that, and that was definitely a good question that you just asked, Gentleman Jamal. I don't like it, okay? I don't like the term Negro, nigga, because I understand, what comes behind that. I know exactly why that was centered around and given to us, because to me, it's a word that they gave to us, our oppressor, so that way we can be beneath them, degrade, any things that make you feel less of a human being. They give it to us. They put that on us. They put their label on us or whatnot. And also, I felt that also another reason why I don't like it neither is because back then, when the slave master, when they had their slaves, and maybe if the person that's overseeing the slaves at that particular time was to take a break, they would get one of the Negro slaves to go out there and make sure that everything is pretty good as far as like with the slaves that's on the plantation. But then the Negro slave would be even more harder than the oppressor, and he would use the word 1,000%, worse than what the slave owner did, and that's where the whole thing comes in at when it comes to, us using that word against each other, because, it's a very degrading word. It puts you beneath, and that's a lot that comes with it. Go ahead, Jamal.
But that's not the topic. I said we can argue should we use it? That's a different show. We saying, can we use it versus somebody else? That's different.
Right.
Like I said, whether you believe you cannot, because I'm not saying you should or shouldn't.
Right.
But I'm saying just because I do, or just because you hear somebody black say it to somebody black, and you're not black, that don't give you a green light to use it if you don't have that relationship.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying,
I'm not saying it's a good word or bad word. That's not my stance.
Yeah, because I asked the question, like, how do we feel if we use it, and how do we feel if other people use it against us? So, and like I said, I don't condone nobody using it, because, like I told you,
I'm asking you a question. Then
I've used it before. I have used it before.
Okay,
I have.
Okay.
Now, I have used it.
Okay,
but see, but when
talk about hypocritical.
Hold on.
Raise your hand on this panel if you've never used it.
I've definitely used it, but when I used it, I didn't know any better neither. I didn't know any better.
If I call you that word, would any of y'all jump up and be like, "I'm ready to fight"?
No.
But you know what? I get what Mr. Nordahl is coming from. Though.
If somebody that was non-black said that to you, that you don't have no relationship, don't know, or is it going to be the same consequences for them? Let's be honest.
Well, it depends on the person, because I say this, like I said.
So you gonna let
other people? But you know what? But here's an interesting thing though, and I'm speaking particularly of white. I don't know why. For some reason, this is my problem. You know what I hate more than nigga? When a middle-aged white man call you bud or buddy. That stings harder than the N-word to me. I don't know why. For some reason, a good down south bud. What you want, bud?
Okay, I don't know, man. When you say the
go ahead. You rather be called the N-word than bud. I mean, you rather be called.
It's man. Listen, I don't know why. I'm just different like this.
Man,
hold up. I can agree. Hold up. I can agree with Bougie Weirdo, because I feel the same way when someone, especially of another race, call me girl. First of all, I'm not a girl. I'm a grown woman. There's a difference, and I need you to know the difference. And so don't feel as though if you hear me and my friends conversing and one of them be like, girl, okay, like you said, Gentleman Jamal, we have that relationship. But, and I hear even other, little white kids, little Hispanic kids calling each other the N-word. But my question to us as a race of people, we say we use this word as a term of endearment, but how can we take a term of degradation to our ancestors and flip it and say it's a term of endearment for us? That's a little backwards to me. And yes, I've said it, and I do slip up and say it from now. And when I see some N-word stuff going on, or some people being some straight up N-words, yeah, I will say it. However, if, at the end of the day, we all have to remember it's still a negative connotation that comes with the word.
Right. And that's
So,
that's what I'm trying to get. Go ahead, EQ. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I'm understanding. I'm just saying it's just a negative kind of. No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah. Now go ahead.
Called each other that before we knew the impact of that. If you grew up in inner city, anywhere in the country, you grew up saying that word in elementary school, didn't know what it meant. You just knew that's what y'all said. As you matured and grew up and knew the history and learned, then you knew the ramifications of what that word really meant, and then maybe use more selective in where you use it and in the settings in which you use it.
Right.
But to say, okay, like I said, I'm not going to argue whether you should or you shouldn't, teach his own. But we've all used, I ain't going to say all, but I'm saying like it's been other people, black people, to say that, and I didn't feel no way about it if we have that relationship. Can I say that if somebody else says it? Right, wrong, indifferent. Again, why is it that those kind of terms are only up for debate with black people? Every race has this kind of negative connotation of a word that is derogatory to them. But you would never think to even say that, even talk about it. But with us,
Jamal,
up on the table.
But Gentleman Jamal, the reason why it's more direct towards black people because it's a money game. Hey man, you don't really hear other. How can you make money off of another race? Calling them out their name or whatever. With the Jewish person or a white person, that don't make money. But when it comes to black folks,
why does it make money?
Why does it make money?
Why?
Because
I got you, Mr. Nord. I'll tell you exactly why. Because niggas the only ones willing to sell out. That's why.
I agree.
Because if you go to a young Jewish man and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a record deal to make a song,"
do it.
But we want you to say all these words. They're gonna say, "Hell no."
They won't.
You go find you one on the streets and say, "Hey, we'll put some money behind you, give you this record deal, but we want you to make some good gangster hard songs, and we got some people that's gonna write some songs for you, and it's just in all the way through the song." And they look like, "Okay, cool." That's why. That's why. So we are hypocrites. Let's not get it twisted. We are all hypocrites. But I do agree with what you're saying, G man. Like it's just different. It feels different. I don't like it. But here's the thing, though. To Mr. Know-it-all's point, I've gotten to the point now where I don't like to hear nobody say it. I don't care what color he is. Because when I was growing up, believe it or not, I didn't even use it that much. But then it kind of like in your teen years, and maybe it's like that from everybody. When you get high school, whatever, it just becomes very prominent, a part of black people's vocabulary. Right. I used to use it like I drink water.
Right.
But then as I got older, I stopped. I kind of reverted back to because it's like it just when anybody say it, to me, it just don't hit my ears right. But now if it's a black person, I don't like to hear black people say that word anymore, but I don't have a problem with it either. So it's like that confliction because it's like, all right, cool, do you? I ain't tripping, but I really wish you wouldn't use that word. But when somebody else uses it, it's just
Let me get in on that because I agree. We would not sell each other out, but I'm gonna piggyback off my main man, Mr. David Chappelle. You say the wrong word about any other group or even a sexual orientation, which I will not go into, you out of here. Say the wrong word. Like he said, he was using that N-word with absolute impunity. And nobody said nothing. The minute he used another word outside of that, taxed him. But B-Dub said, we are if you don't like other people using that word, you need to look at your own people because we allowed it.
I agree.
Like they said, when they say use it, no, I'm not going to use it. Turn it down. But we do anything for that, for some whatever, some money or clout or whatever, and we end up paying for it. Use certain terms with other people. You finna get counseled. You're gonna have to go on an apology tour.
Right.
The whole nine.
Yep.
So if we really serious about it, then we will safeguard it and protect it, and like that's off limits for everybody. But instead, we allow people. And he's allowed this, and she because he grew up. No, you ain't. But if they allow him to, and like you said, Mr. Know-It-All, if you can get some money off of a TV show, a record deal, or a song, then we allow it because no other group would allow that term, a derogatory term about their entire race, be used across platforms like we do, and that's unfortunate.
But let me ask you this, Jim Jamal, and I'm gonna get on your back with that one. So why do we have to sell out? With the use of that word, why do we sell out each other, or we sell out for $1 just for us to be degrading ourselves or let another race do that to us? Well, now why do we sell out all the time? Why?
Man, look at here. We ain't got enough hours in the day for that show. But I'm gonna just say this: we not on code, and we don't, and that's it. We're not on code. That should be off limits no matter where you go. But see, so like you said, it's some of us that'll be like that are checking, some of us allow it. That doesn't happen in other communities. This off limits no matter where you ain't. They ain't got to have no meetings. Everybody think we got to have meetings. No, you ain't got to have no meeting. You know what it is. Nobody else has to do all this. We got to meet up and no, stay on code. Safeguard it just like they do. Because think about it, we the only ones that allow that.
Right.
And once we stop that, then it won't even be on the table for discussion. Some penalty to pay if you use that. There are no penalties like we talk about in here. There are no penalties to pay.
It's a penalty. It's a penalty to be paid. If let's say, because remember they did a show. What's the name of the comedian Kramer? That's his name. Remember he had that rant, right? Okay. And all it took was, some black people that was there that was offended, and they saw, black folks moving out in droves and getting pretty excited about it. And the next thing you know, it reached out to a large percentage, when it went on social media, everybody found out about it to where they had to do something about it. But it takes more with us.
5 minutes, then it goes away.
Well, yeah, and that's more about classification too. See, we got to forget we no matter what subject we're talking about, that the root of it is always the wealth gain.
Yes.
Because oh boy, he was no longer relevant. They are more than willing to sacrifice him. He was not important. So it's like, and plus, they give us scraps. They don't always give us scraps every now and again. When the pressure cooker get too hot and it start to rumble, you open that knob a little bit and you let a little pressure off. So they say, okay, here you go, black people. We'll go ahead and cancel this dude that wasn't relevant to us no way. Yeah, right. There you go. And we was like, hey, win for black people, But for us, it's not like that. And I go back to the movie. I know it's a movie, but by all accounts, we assume that that's really how it happened. Straight Outta Compton, where the Jewish manager, when Cube dropped No Vaseline.
Yeah.
So he started this song going straight at Dre, the whole group. And it wasn't until it got all the way in the middle of the song when he said, "You let a white Jew mess up my crew." Oh no! We gotta stop this guy. This is crazy. Like, he didn't care. He didn't care nothing about him talking about these men and none of that. It was all good until he said the word Jew. Now all of a sudden he's going crazy. We don't do that. I said it a couple of shows ago. I don't remember which show, but I said black people, we too nice. We too accepting of everybody. Lil Nas X, regardless of how you feel about him and whatever. Old Town Road was the hottest selling song forever. but they would not give him a country music award, even though it was clearly a country song. They said nope, because if they allowed the song on the country billboards, it would have beat every other song that's ever been on the country billboards ever in the history of country music. And they said nope, not gonna happen. We're not gonna allow this song to be classified as a country music song so that it can be put on the country billboard record.
Facts.
But on the other hand, we let Vanilla Ice come in here and make millions of dollars and skate out the way. We let Eminem come in here and make millions of dollars and skate on. We let G-Eazy, all of these others come in and pick off our culture. And
the culture cookout is what I call it. The cultural cookout. Like you said, B-Dub, we have all these entertainers that's not, other races. They come into the cultural cookout. We welcome them with open arms, easy, don't ask no questions, and they sit back and they pick at us and they pull everything that we do and how we do it. And then next thing you know, they taking the N-word with them and everything like that. Would make millions and billions of dollars off of us because we invited them to the culture cookout. And then next thing you know, the rest is history. And we just sit back, selling out their shows and buying their music, and we doing everything up under the sun, which to me is backwards. And we can't have that mentality. We can't have that mentality like that anymore. We got to do something as far as like you said, B-Dub, we can't be so nice about it anymore. And it starts with us, and we have to do something about it. I agree with that 1,000%. What you saying, General Jamal?
The comment sections are going off. Get into that.
Right. Comments.
Yes. Jonte Manning saying, "What's going on, kings and queens?" And he also said, "Go Texans." Jasmine Leanne Dunn says, "Facts." Yep, same with saying faggot and etc. And she also said, "Nope, different groups have their words that they say to each other that no one else says. I are the hypocrites." She also said, "When you know better, you do better." And she said, "That nigga with the glasses talking."
What he is.
Don't forget that says other cultures adopted hip hop and put the N-word in the package. Laugh out loud. Yep. I agree. Yep. And then she said, "Cooning is real." And Angela Denise says, "This is a great conversation." We agree with everything you guys are saying here. Yep. Shout out to you guys. So, hey, listen, you guys, if you want to come into the show, make sure you go to the top of the comment section. You can hit the invite, and we'll definitely bring you on to the show. So that way you can ask your question, fire off your question, and you can say hello, how you doing, kick a shout out, or you can go into the comment section as well and do the same thing. And we'll definitely read your comments, and we'll definitely put them up on the stream itself. So let me ask you guys this, okay? All right. With the do you guys feel that when another race use that word, and I'm probably asking before whatever, I'm asking again, when other race use that word, should we feel a way of responding with physical force, or should we just kind of back off of it or walk away from that conversation? How do you guys feel? Does it make you feel like it's almost like you're less of an individual because you don't address that situation with, physical force, or just besides just conversation? How do you guys feel about that? B-Dub, your mic.
First and foremost, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, baby, I got you, cuz I'll sing it. Absolutely.
When it comes to Black people and other cultures, however you choose to respond is the right way to respond. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with how anybody responds. Me personally, I wouldn't respond with violence because that's just not the character person I am of any situation. But I would say something, and that I don't have a problem with speaking if I don't like something, or if I feel like something's wrong, speaking out and saying something about it. And I will correct people. Right. But if people choose to go another route, hey, that's their business. I ain't tripping. I'm gonna turn around and I ain't see nothing. When cops come, I ain't see nothing.
Right.
I'm like you too, bougie weirdo. But on the same token, it's not what people call; it's what you answer to. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we have to factor that in too. Because hey, I know I'm not. I know I'm not a nigga. I know I'm not a nigger. I know who I am, and I'm the educated queen, the one, the only. But at the end of the day, I'm like you. No, I'm not fixing to waste my time fighting because of what you call me. You know what I'm saying? I can choose to ignore it, walk away, or whatever. I'm probably let you know, hey, we don't even get down like that. Don't disrespect me because I'm not the one. Because I have to also understand, resorting to violence. Now you acting out the N word.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to always think, is this really worth it? Now, if you just utterly disrespectful, ain't nothing wrong with a left hook and a right hook. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And EQ, I'm just like you as well. Like, I know who I am as a man. I know who I am as an individual. So, you can, as long as you don't put your hands on me and take it to that level, then I'm fine with that. But I'm not trying to get into no fisticuffs with nobody.
Right.
I'm not trying to do that whatsoever because we live in the dating times now that a fight could lead to somebody getting shot. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have time to be trying to entertain nothing like that at all, especially from another race. Because like I said, I've been called that before from another race. I have, and the way that I addressed it was, I just knew for a fact it was a bunch of foolishness. I didn't let them see me, feel like I was less than or anything like that or whatnot. So I laughed it off, but I went on about my business because number one thing was when it happened. I was in East Texas, where you got a whole bunch of that go on down that way, and I was there. Myself and my brothers and my parents, we were at my sister-in-law house in Commerce, Texas. We was in Commerce, Texas, and we're out playing basketball and doing everything like that and whatnot in front of and we had our nieces and our kids out, and these guys came out in a big truck and yelled it out to us. I heard them like 30 yards away. We heard them. And then they drove off. I said, you know what? I'm glad I know what's going on here. Let me go ahead and let me get out this town before the sun goes down because I wasn't going to be around for nothing like that. But I have had that happen to me before, and I just addressed it a different kind of way. I wasn't going to go no fisticuffs with these people. We're going to do it. And plus, it was outside my element as well. I don't know anybody in Commerce, Texas. So you got to pick and choose your battles when it comes to that. Jim Jamal, you got something, brother?
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Now, come on. We see you brewing over there.
Yeah, you brewing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Listen, I don't care where I'm at. I need to know two people, Smith and Wesson. Okay. You better. There's some people you can get away with that BS, and then there's some people you gonna have to answer to, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah. Hold on, we got some comments here. Hold on, okay. Dope and Gifted said, bear with me, but I'm a nerd and former English teacher, so I always go to checking facts and history. So the dictionary was a source to learning words, but people disregard etymology. The N word was someone from another race using the N word will be getting it just like how that white guy got smashed in the face with a twisted T. Yeah. Shout out to the sponsor, Twisted Tea. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What?
I said, shout out to Twisted Tea.
Shout out to Twisted Tea. That's right. That's right.
I always say this. I say, never let nobody steal your cool. I'm not saying that. But you also don't let nothing go unchecked. And I think that's part of being on code. Like, you got to check that at every turn. Because
I agree.
You let him, he like, well, I can do this. Okay. You're going to cross the wrong one. Yes, and I'm going to leave it right there. I don't advocate violence, obviously, but sometimes violence is necessary, unfortunately. You understand, this country was made from violence. Black people need to get comfortable with this whole situation. All this, I'm going to turn the other cheek and stop that. That's why we are where we are right now. We always turning the other cheek, the giving and praying. I get it. Don't let nobody steal your cool. We are elevated. We this, but sometimes I'm gonna have to check you. That doesn't necessarily mean putting my hands on you. But if I ain't finna turn my and tuck my tail and run away from none of that.
Right.
Okay.
No, I 100% agree. That's why I say I would definitely say something. You know, and it's levels to it because like Jim and Jamal said, you know, I'm older in age. You know, I still got it. If somebody want to come catch these hands, they can still catch them. But you know, the recovery time from touching on folks ain't what it used to be. So, you know, that's what you know, he's a Smith and Wesson guy. I'm a Glock man myself.
Yeah.
You know, to handle them type of situations. But you know, I definitely think we should be saying something 100% for sure. And that goes with anybody with anything. Anytime you feel uncomfortable, you know, with something that somebody says or does, I don't think nobody should be afraid to speak on it. Now, if they choose to escalate it to a different level, then you know, whatever come with it, and we just go that road. But yeah. Oh, by the way, John Tate was asking what we sipping on. This is a prototype of charged beverages coming soon. Look out for it.
Yep. So listen, okay, so speaking of doing something about it and handling it in a different situation, about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, okay, there was an incident that happened at the Dillard's Mall, all right, where there was a kid that accidentally, I believe he hit the worker. It was a older white man, and the kid, I think he ran to him, hit his knee, something had happened. And the white man called that man, the little boy, a nigga. So some people heard it. The kid went back and told the father. The father chose to go and approach the gentleman and have a discussion about it. Now, he didn't throw no hands, but he put the guy in his place and talked with him and let him know that the way that the worker of the place handled that situation with the kid. All right. So let me ask you guys this, okay? Do you guys feel that with him handling the way he did, especially we're talking about kids now, all right? Because this kid was affected by that, and the parent of the kid said, "Look, what you said to my son, that can definitely hurt him in the long run, as far as like mental wise, because my son, you know, he's not privy to that, you know, what that is, and he's not, you know, he don't understand right now for what you're just saying to him or whatever, but he feel like that can definitely hurt him in the long run, whatever." Do you guys think that father in that situation took care of that incident the way you guys would have taken care of it? Because it's for me. Now we're talking about kids now, you know, the conversation, I don't know if I have it in me to be able to control my emotions, knowing that my son, you know, has, you know, been disrespected, belittled, and put down like that. To me, I can handle it. But when you're talking about my kids, that's a whole nother story. You know, now we got to handle it another kind of way. That's me personally. Go ahead, EQ. You breaking up, EQ. EQ, we can't hear you.
Well, I'm gonna say this: you try Jesus, not me, nor my kids.
Man, you stole my line.
You try Jesus. Don't try me, and don't try my kids. Don't try my tribe. We don't.
Yeah, you know, there's very few. Like I said, for me, you know, I'm been a little bit more of a mild-mannered person, and you know what's so crazy? And I ain't gonna get into. It's a little deeper than that, and I'm not gonna go all the way into it. But you know, me being a larger size black man, I've had to deal with people all my life thinking that I'm angry when I'm not angry, or not having the ability to express the way other people express. So I've kind of trained myself to be a little more mild mannered. But there are a few things that I have a very, very short fuse or no fuse for, and kids would be on that list. Like you said, if he had said that to me, I would have a conversation with him. Hey, you know, that ain't cool or whatever, however I'm gonna say it. But if somebody was to do that to my son, I don't think I would have any words for him whatsoever. It would just be call 911, period.
Right.
And real quick, I'll say this. Think about why that son is affected. Like I don't care what happens. I don't care if a white person can live in the hood for 30 years. Because I'm quite sure that kid has heard that word plenty of times. But it's just genetically encoded. When other coaches say it, it hits a string. It don't feel right. So that's probably why that kid was affected by that. And I can understand the father being upset. But like I said, if it was me, that's one of the very few instances where it wouldn't have been a lot of conversation.
Right.
Right. Right. But you know what? I have to
Don't mess
now.
with
I
our
have to
kids.
go ahead.
Don't mess with our kids. Period.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree, EQ. And like I said, I commend the father for him maintaining his emotions and was able to talk with the gentleman and explain to him how everything that he did and the way he handled that was wrong, because there was no need for that man to do what he did with that young black young black male, for him to say that to him and cause that type of emotional trauma to this kid for him saying that. But from what I've been reading and seeing on social media as well, the Dillard's company got involved with that, and the man was terminated from his position. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing: when you say that word, and people start coming out the woodworks, and and people want something done about it, it costs when you use that word. If you're a different race, it will cost you. All right, it will definitely cost you some money, millions of dollars. What's the name of the lady? Is her name Paula? The one who do the cooking? Who?
Paula Dean.
Paula Dean.
Paula Dean. Paula Dean. Yeah, she lost. Paula Dean lost, some resources, and she lost some money behind that. There was another Joe Rogan. Is he the podcast guy? He had said it. Joe Rogan has said it. He lost some subscribers, and he was affected by that or whatever because
Still
of
a rich podcaster though.
Yeah, he is. He is. I agree. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but 200,000 in a day, lost 200,000 subscribers in a day.
Yeah, he lost.
He survived this time,
But
he might not survive the next one.
Right.
Listen. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
Well, but here's the
Say
thing,
what you
though.
gotta say, gentlemen.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Here's the thing, though. Okay, but here's the thing. Like, when other people use that terminology, B-Dub, yeah, they may, it might take them just like a notch down or whatever. It might take them a notch down. They might lose a little bit. They're not gonna lose it all. But if we pull a Nick Cannon, all right, they were talking about when Nick Cannon used that word, talking about the real Jews and they had a fake Jewish people over there. When he said what he said, I mean, they talking about canceling culture on this guy, man, and he had to backpedal and go on this entire apology tour because of what he said. Because they was like, hey, look, you know what? You can say everything about nigga this and nigga that, but the minute you talk about Jewish this and Jewish that, because the Jewish culture, they pretty much running everything. If you look at it, huh?
But why? You answered your own question because you said it earlier in the podcast.
Yeah,
it's profitable. It's
right.
And gentleman Jamal said it. We accept it. I said it. We accept it. Nobody else accept it. So as long as we accept it and it's profitable, it's gonna always be okay to degrade us until we stop accepting it. And it's a wealth game. It's a class game. Like right. Joe Rogan is bringing millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into that entity. So that's why he's still there. Go back to the example you gave with the dude that was on Seinfeld. He don't bring nothing. He was out of there anyway. Cancel him. Nick Cannon is not that important to MTV. And let's be clear, MTV is owned by who? In case I forgot, MTV is owned by Jewish people. So no, you cannot tell the truth about me. That's like
He played too much.
Whatever you do, Mr. Know-It-All, whatever you do, you invite me to your house, you invite me to the party. Cool, I'm coming to the party. But then I come to the party telling everybody all your dirt and all your business. You're going to be like, hell no, get the hell out of here. That's what Nick Cannon did. He was telling their business. He was telling the truth that we really need to be learning and really need to be hearing. You know, all this fake woke, you know, people think they doing something and talking about something, but until you start seeing real facts like what Nick Cannon was talking about, they ain't gonna say nothing because it ain't gonna affect them. And if they gotta throw us a bone every now and again and cancel somebody that they don't care about in the first place, no problem. But if you start saying something that's really real, especially when you're talking about the people, they came out to Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z, I can't even remember the lyric in the OJ song. He said something about, you want to know how Jews own all the property, and it like he didn't even say nothing wrong, but you say that word Jew, they coming after you. They coming after you. Jew. They coming after you. I don't care. We ain't monetized yet. I don't care. I'm gonna say it.
Right. Speak your truth.
The
Speak your truth.
Of V-Dub do not reflect.
I'm gonna mute my mic now. I'm gonna show.
So Brooklyn Betty, we're going to the comment section. So Derek Nathan, appreciate you for joining, and we thank everybody for joining the live stream here. So we appreciate that. We also thank you for the comments as well. But Derek Nathan saying, been related to the white man as an aggressive black man, which also degrade us as black people. Okay, all right, that's good facts there, Derek. And Brooklyn Betty says the father did a great job handling the situation. It was a good representation that we can be civil and set him straight. Yeah.
Can I add to that? Can I add to what her comment? And thank you so much, my sister, for that comment. That father showed that kid how to effectively problem solve, which is one skill that a lot of our children are lacking. A lot of us are lacking good problem solving skills. Yes, it was a hurtful moment, but it was also a teachable moment. And kudos to kudos to that dad for showing his son, you know, how to handle a situation properly. Although, yeah, you angry, you hurt, but because none of us want our kids to be offended or attacked or anything like that. But yeah, I agree. That father did handle that, but I'm not there yet. I'm gonna just be honest. Because you know, don't call my child on me. Okay, yeah.
right. EQ,
get back on this screen.
But EQ, but just like you said, EQ though, it's when your kids are affected like that, when you see the hurt as a man and a woman, you see your kid come to you and say, the boogeyman just did this to me. He did this. He said this, and right. And you got people that witness this and whatnot. It takes a strong person to say, you know what, man, I don't want to go put hands on this dude, you know, in front of my kids. But man, because a man is a man is known to be a protective man, a protector of his family. He gonna do that by any means necessary. So sometimes, man, when it comes to kids, man, it's just like you ain't trying to hear that, you know, because your kid, you just violated my family by doing that. You violated me. You know, that's how I feel about it. And I'm saying to myself, we got to do something. We got to go.
Look at this comment. This boy,
she had some good cookware.
I missed that show.
Cause you crazy.
Yeah, Pop. Yeah, man. She got hit bad with that one, man. That hurt her.
Yeah,
but I ain't seen Pamela Paula Dean since.
Right. Because when she did that, man, you know, people just backed off over it. And she wanted this apology to her. She didn't really mean it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. She didn't mean it. She was just trying to clean up what she messed up, you know, and think everything's gonna be all right. But she threw a people off on that.
She lost some money. That's what that is.
Right. And they said she had been doing that to the people that work inside the house, you know, with her, or whatever. She's been using those kind of allegedly been using that kind of slang and all that to them. It terminizes them. So, you know.
So that means she wasn't sorry.
No, she wasn't sorry. But here's the thing, though. Like I just alluded to earlier, when you use that word, you know, that's definitely, you know, it should be severe consequences, not just a bump down the road or whatever, or just another notch, you know, down. You should be able to follow, just like they was gonna cancel Nick Cannon. you should be able to counsel them, whatever. But unfortunately, it's not like that when it comes to us. When people are, as long as we are the object we the butt of the jokes, and we the object of all the nonsense that we got to deal with, it ain't gonna happen, and that's very unfortunate.
No, it's not gonna happen as long as we keep using it openly. Because like somebody mentioned, I think in the comments, or one of y'all mentioned, other cultures do have words. They do have words that they call each other, but they don't do it publicly.
Right.
If we're gonna pull it behind the scenes and say, okay, we're gonna use it behind the scenes, but stand on not doing it publicly in the music and movies and TV shows, then that would be a different story, because now you're taking the word out of the spotlight. So now when other cultures do use it, it's an even bigger light, and it's like, hell no, then you can ask for more. But as long as we keep using it publicly, we only gonna get but so much retribution from other cultures.
That's right.
But which the thing about it is, at the end of the day, people just shouldn't use it. I don't think God intended for other cultures to use that word, because like I keep saying, it just don't sound right. I don't care if you use a soft A or hard R, it don't matter. It just don't sound right coming off the tongues of other cultures, and it ain't never gonna sound right to me. And as much as been taken from us, goddamn it, like give us, we gotta have something. I wish it was something different. I wish this was not the podium that we chose to stand on and say, hey, we're gonna take this word, but hey, it is what it is. So keep it out your mouth. If you ain't melanated, just keep it out your mouth.
Right.
And just because you see me doing it, don't mean you do it.
Right.
I'm just saying, just because you see me saying it or doing it, don't give you a green light to do it. No.
Right.
Don't work like that.
Right. So Monique Smith says, me neither, EQ. I'm not there yet. I told the principal if she didn't fix it, I will come give the little boy a whooping, and everybody who laughed and everybody who didn't tell, and the teacher who ignored. She's talking to you, EQ.
Do it. I know. She was agreeing with me when I said I'm not there yet to handle that situation like that dad did. I ain't talking. You mess with my kid, it was going to be some furniture moving, period. Don't mess with my kid.
Right. I agree with that. Anybody else got any questions? B-Dub, you got some questions?
Yeah, I want to know. So we having this great conversation. Where do we go now? What's
the end game, huh?
What do we do about it? So what do we do about it? When other cultures use that word, what do we do about it? And do we stop using it? I don't think we answered the question yet. Should we stop using it? It's one of the questions you asked. I don't think we answered that question yet.
Hey, listen. I started out by saying this. I agree. I agree 1,000% that we should stop using it, because I look at our people, because I love our people, man. We are some of the most special, greatest people, smart, intelligent beings on the planet. All right. So I look at us like kings and queens. Now, if I'm going to, if I see an individual that I feel is using that type of words towards me, I'm definitely gonna correct them, because at this, with what I know and how I feel about it, I feel like you definitely should, tell them what's going on and teach them and instruct them how that word is, how that word is not a good word to use, and because if you hear another race say that to you, whatnot, how somebody would definitely feel about it or whatever. So I just think that we just shouldn't use it, and we should be able to educate, people moving forward, even if it's somebody that's not of color. We should be able to, talk with them, educate them, and hopefully they receive the message and they use what we tell them and correct it that way. That's how I feel about it. I don't know if that's if I'm trying to heal the world and sing kumbaya or whatever, but I think that that would definitely be a start. EQ, you gonna say something?
Come on,
no,
Come on,
I mean, you know what? It's kind of hard to deprogram people. It is. I mean,
Facts.
especially when you're being accustomed to doing something or having a certain way of thinking and behaving for so long. To some, no, some feel like no, we shouldn't use the word. Some feel like we should. It's our word. But again, it's like I said, one, how can we take something that was meant to do? How can we take a word that was degrading to our ancestors and then flip it and say it's a term of endearment? So if we're going to cancel it, let's cancel it all together. Ain't no term of endearment. No, find something else to use to call me. Call me baby, call me boo, whatever. But N-word, no. That's out the window. Because in one instance you're saying, okay, let me address you because I want to get your attention or because we cool or whatever. But in another light, it was used to tear people down, to destroy people, or to label people. No, throw it out the window altogether. And I'm trying to do better by saying it. I say it to where people don't hear me.
Yeah, I'm a little on the fence about it because, like I said, when I was younger, so the definition that was given to me before I, really started learning, getting the world knowledge and learning was that it was a ignorant, lazy person. So I'm like, okay, well that ain't me. So that's why initially when I was younger, I didn't really care for anybody using it towards me because I'm like, that don't describe me. But then I kind of understood that okay, it is a term of endearment. It's something that we've kind of taken, and and I was in with that at that time. Like, okay, cool. So now it's this, that, whatever, whatever. But like I said, now that I'm older, I'm kind of reverting back to where I kind of it's just, it don't really sound good to my ears anymore as much. Even though I'm a hypocrite because I still use the word from time to time. I haven't totally absolved myself of that word. But it don't really bother me when black people say it. So I'm just kind of indifferent to it. And like I said, when other cultures say, it, especially in the heat of the moment, because we know, I don't care who you are, white, black, whatever. If you're angry at somebody and you're trying to hurt them, you're going to say whatever you think is going to hurt that person. And other cultures know what our trigger is. So I guess that's why it don't trigger me because if you say if I'm getting into it with a white guy and he called me a nigga, I know he's trying to get under my skin. So it's really gonna have the opposite effect. But like a good strong boy, bud or buddy, I might have to touch him a little bit. I'm just saying, like that's not the road that I typically would go, but it's just that's something that I struggle with. That's something I struggle with. But he called me a nigga, like okay, he's trying to get under my skin. I know what you're trying to do, but I
So
don't
you
know.
don't. So B Dub, you think boy when he use the word boy, that's not
Man,
get up on you.
listen.
You think he's trying to get up on your skin or what?
Now I tell you, I did have one moment. I did have one moment in my youngest because when I was younger, I was hard to believe for a lot of people that know me when I say this, but I was a bit of a hothead when I was younger. And I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I remember we played what's that little town? Ferris. They had just built them a new gym, played them in basketball. Pre-game before the referees come out, you can get your dunk on a little bit. Once the referees come out, you can't dunk no more. So before the referees came out, um, point guard set me up. We doing layup drills. He toss it up, boom, throw it down. All I hear from the stands is, "Hey, big nigger, you better not break our goal." And I look up and I'm talking about Jabba the Hutt overall size 64 overall spilling out the side, just lean back, digging but it didn't bother me. But you know what bothered me? He said, "You hear me, boy?" Oh, I was ready to go in the stands. Coach had to grab me. He had to say, hey, y'all settle down, come over. I was ready to go in the stands on him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just different like that. It's just weird, but I don't, yeah.
What was the second part of that question you asked too, B Dub?
Man, I don't know. I'm lit by this time. Shit.
Jim Jamal, you got something to add to that, my friend?
No, y'all know my saying. I love me some black people, but I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah. No, but you know what? But the main thing I got from this, from talking with you guys, like you said, you guys are basically saying that, look, we allow this type of connotation and this use of Negro and nigga and nigga, we let it get to where it's at now, and we can definitely do something about it, and we can't, and we have to stop trying to sell out and make ourselves accessible and access to be able to use us to spread that poison. That's what it is, man. When you use that word, man, and when you go on social media, you go on the music industry, you go into the Hollywood, and they just spill it like it's nobody's business, man. We don't have to sell out and continue to sell out one another, or for another race to be able to be able to put that poison out there with them, man, because it's affecting us a lot, because we have so much hatred towards ourselves, and then we use that word like it's, and when we use it, because that's different from what EQ said earlier. We use it in different, forms and formats for, we can say it, just to be, hanging out with you and laughing and joking, to the point to where now you saying it in a manner that you trying to make that person feel less than, or you trying to fight it. So there's different levels to it, when we addressing each other, and
you
go ahead.
The word every production meeting. So I ain't listening to her. I'm kidding.
EQ, your mic is low. EQ, you there?
Can you hear me now?
I
was muted. I was muted. Gentleman Jamal, get your stuff together. I'll deal with you when we go off the air. I'll say a few words to you. Maybe the N.
And one of those words is probably gonna be with the N in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we're gonna ask this question here, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it quits. But here's we're gonna read the comment section. She's saying that we can Brooklyn Betty, we thank you for joining the show. Brooklyn Betty says we can replace it with bros or sis. I agree. I agree with that. We can definitely exchange that word for bros or sis. To me, that's better. And you can still get your point across, but definitely using those two words as well, bro or sis, you can definitely get it off across. It's to me, it's almost have the same. Well, I ain't gonna say same, but it has a better meaning than it does with nigger or nigger or nigga. It does. So So let me ask you guys this last question. Let me ask you guys this last question here, okay? All right. How do you guys feel about the word? Would you rather for somebody to be overt with it or covert with it? Meaning they are, that type of person that, when they use it, they are outward with it. Hey, look, this is how I feel. Bring it out. Or the person that's indoors and they use it to the extreme. Which one you feel is, for lack of words saying, which one could you actually roll with? Somebody that's outward with it, or somebody that's going behind closed doors with it?
Both of them wrong. Both of them.
No vert. How about that?
Right.
I mean,
BOL.
It's disrespectful either way.
Right.
Yeah. Because if I'm privately a nigga, then I sure will be publicly a nigga. So
But listen, but here's why I asked that though. Because the people that's privately saying it, they try to be your best friends in public. You know what I mean? Like they rooting for you, but really inside the house, they can care nothing. They can care less about you. They call you everything but a child of God inside the house, whatever. But outside the house, oh man, hey EQ, how are you? How's your day going? Knowing inside, it's in them saying they can care less about you. So I would prefer for you to let me know how you feel. If you come out to me and saying it to me outwardly, I can respect that whatever, because my train of thoughts thinking like, you know what, man, you know what, this person, if you're doing it from behind closed doors, man, it just hit different with me.
I disagree, because it's not even my business that you even feel that way about me. Sometimes you need to learn how to keep stuff to yourself. I don't care if you do feel like I'm the N-word. Keep that to yourself. You ain't gotta let me know. No.
Go ahead,
I agree with Mr. Know-It-All on that one. First of all, like G-Man and EQ said, it's a no vote. It shouldn't be either. But if it's got to be one or the other, I'd rather you be open with it, because I deal with open honesty better. Now, you gonna have to deal with the consequences of how I respond to it, but I feel better that way. But you gotta understand too, there's a million different ways to call us a nigga without saying the word. When you go to that bank, when that white person go to the bank with their 640 credit score and they got a little debt and they trying to buy a house, and they say, okay, well, you don't quite qualify, but here, you can do this program. Here's all these resources where you can get you qualified to get a house. And a black person come in with the same credentials, and they just say, well, sorry, we can't give you the loan today, and just let you walk out the door. They call you a nigga.
Right.
Because they're not offering you them extra resources that they offering that other person.
Right.
I can give a million different examples, but yeah, there's a lot of ways to call us that without calling us that. But if I had to make a choice, of course, let me know so I know how to deal with you.
Right.
But it should be a no-go, period.
I agree. Jamal, how you feel about that, brother? It's a no-go. I agree. It's a no-go. But if you had to pick and choose, which one would it be? Would it be outwardly or inwardly?
Obviously, I prefer, if we're gonna jump to racism, I prefer my racism overt. I like to know where you stand. So, as B-Dub said, and I like to know where you stand. It's never okay, whether you say it in private or public, it's not okay. But I prefer to know exactly where you sit, so I know how to handle you and how to deal with you. And as EQ said, like, listen, okay, that's what you want, that's where you at, then okay, right? As I said, you can do this. Country's a free country. You can say do what you want, but just know there are consequences behind your actions. And I'm gonna leave it right there.
Right. And I'm gonna say it again, B-Dub and EQ and Jim Jamal. I'm like you guys, man. I want to know where you stand at with this whole thing. I don't want to, for you to be inward, but you still calling me everything up under the sun. But when you see me in the public, when you see me at work or whatever the case may be, you really don't care for me at all, man. So I'd rather for you to know, I'd rather for you to call me out in the open with it versus being inside. Because me, honestly, man, when you're doing it inside, man, it's almost like they can do a lot of damage to you, man. And they can do damage to you indirectly as well. So I'm just not feeling that at all. EQ, you got something to add on that?
Yeah, in the back of my mind, I guess I'm always kind of thinking, I can be an N-word any day. If anything goes wrong, anything goes down, at the end of the day, I don't care how good I am, how educated I am, what I have, how well I speak or whatever. To somebody of another race, I'm gonna always be an N-word at the end of the day. That's just how I feel, and I could be wrong. Maybe not every white person or Hispanic person feel that way or whatever, but in my mind, I'm always thinking I'm an N-word to somebody.
Yeah, but it seems like, man, you know what? With me, it seems like I got spidey sense for that for some reason. When it come to that, you can just, man, you can feel it, man. You can feel that. When somebody don't.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a sense that you can get, man. It just, for me, it'll make you tingle, your hairs on your hand tingle, and your hairs on your back stand up. You can feel it, But
I ain't got no hair on my back though. That ain't no that ain't sexy.
Yeah.
Pull your knuckles.
Shut up! Shut up!
All right, listen. So Derek Nathan, he got a comment. He's saying, but I guess brother is a Christian word for the next man. And Derek Nathan also says, excuse me, I'm just being ignorant. Laugh out loud. We appreciate you everything, D Nate, man. We appreciate you for everything. Thank you for joining the show as well. So anybody got any more questions? Anything? Anybody got anything they want to say?
I'm gonna leave with this. Shout out to all the people who commented. Make sure you go out and like, share, subscribe to the channel. Help us grow this thing out, spread the message.
Yes.
We appreciate everyone for their input, and let's do it again next week.
Right, B-Dub.
Yeah, same thing, man. Share. If you know somebody you think that will enjoy this conversation, definitely share it with them. Share it with your family, and y'all have a conversation about it. And just keep coming back every week, man. We doing our best to improve and put out the best product for you guys, and we appreciate all the day ones that's here riding with us, and we're just trying to grow this thing.
Right. EQ.
One last thing before we go. Thank you guys on the show for just agreeing for us to have these conversations and have these shows and trying to educate ourselves as well as our audience. I know off the air when we're, sound check and everything, we have a good time, we laugh. And, sometimes some of us need that pick me up, especially after all that we all have to encounter on a day-to-day basis, being parents, working and just trying to survive in this crazy world. So thank you guys for being the kings that you are. And shout out to Miss Queen. Hopefully she'll be back with us on next week. And I'm definitely always looking forward to these shows, and I sure can't wait till we try to get something together to be in person. I know Gentleman Jamal is going to be a straight clown, and I'm looking forward to it. So so shout out to you kings tonight.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
So the Burning Coals giving you the bag moment. We're gonna say this, okay? The N-word. Listen, we gotta cut it out. We can't sit there and degrade each other like that no more. Cut it out. Let's substitute, just like Brooklyn Betty said. Let's substitute the N-word for bros or sister, but we can't no longer degrade anybody. Okay, all right. So that's gonna be it for the Burning Coals podcast tonight. Listen, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell, share the content, and also share the content and send it to your friends, your family members, your neighbors, and your enemies as well. Whoever it is, whatever, let them know about one of the dopest contents, one of the dopest podcasts on the YouTube platform. So again, we definitely enjoy you guys for being here on the show tonight. Look for next Tuesday, where we hit you guys with a really, really great conversation, great topic. We're going to be talking about the hidden agenda in Hollywood, the hidden secret agenda in Hollywood. So you guys are going to look out for that Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're going to definitely come with it. You guys have a blessed one and good night. Welcome to the Burning Coals podcast. There we go.
Peace out, my niggas.